Hi everybody, this is Lara from Pure Elliott Wave with your daily free analysis of Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP. Before I jump into Bitcoin, I'd like to remind you we have recently added a subscription to my website pureelliottwave.com, daily gold analysis. If you are interested in trading or investing in gold, we are providing high quality Elliott Wave and technical analysis 5 days a week with a video on Friday. Click on the link below to check that out. Technicals for Bitcoin, pretty much the same as yesterday, but we still don't have a breach of this channel. Here's a channel that contains this pullback. Price is closed above it, continues to close above it, but it has not met my conservative definition of a channel breach, which is a full daily candlestick outside and not touching the trend channel of movement in the opposite direction. So I need a green candlestick to close and not touch this trend line. We don't have it yet. What we do have is 3 days in a row of falling price with declining volume. Price is falling of its own weight, and volume is a lot weaker than previous upward movement. The short-term volume profile here still looks bullish, and there is still very strong support just below at 29,000. I will expect that to be very likely to hold. Today, however, ADX indicates there's no clear trend. It's flat to declining. It won't take much to turn it up and again indicate an upward trend, but I like to approach this technical analysis from a flat point of view. What does each indicator say? Don't try and predict what it might do, just what does it say now, and then judge it all together. When ADX tells us there's no clear trend, I revert to a model of stochastics plus support and resistance. Stochastics was oversold here, prices found support, stochastics is moving from oversold up toward overbought. The model would expect price to now overall move upward to next resistance, which is about 31. So whether or not there's a trend, I would expect an upward swing. Do not expect price to move in a straight line. That is not how it works. So these last 3 days of overall downward movement, absolutely to be expected normal behavior. So I'm still expecting overall upward movement for Bitcoin to 31,000. If it does start to move up, ADX will again indicate an upward trend, and there is a very, very long way to go before this trend is extreme. So I am still bullish on Bitcoin. I think this is a normal to be expected pullback, finding support at the upper edge of the channel. The bigger picture for all of these markets is all of them seeing a cycle wave 1, cycle 2, primary 1, primary 2, now in the early stages of primary 3 of cycle 3. For Ethereum, this Elliott wave count is extremely bullish. If primary 2 were not over and were to move any lower, it may not move beyond the start of 1 below 82.05, but I would expect it to find strong support at the lower edge of this channel, which is an adjusted base channel. But I don't actually expect new lows below this low down here, 883.48. I expect this low of January 2022 is very likely to remain intact. So that's the weekly chart. The low of primary 2 here on the monthly is this low here. Within primary 3, I'm going to see the first 5 up, intermediate 1 incomplete with minor 1, 2, minute 1, 2, and again I'm looking at this channel drawn from this low to this low. It's providing support this week, and on the daily chart we can see it here. If this pullback continues any lower, I'm going to now label it micro 2. I will expect very strong support at this trend line. Micro 2 may not move beyond the start of 1, so here is my risk for the very short term, 1,800.89. I'm leaving the invalidation point a lot lower though to allow for minuet 2 to continue lower, but I do expect a continuation of support at this line for Ethereum. Technicals again for this one still pretty much the same. Morning doji star, bullish reversal pattern. The bullish candlestick had push from volume. Still expecting that these 3 days are a pullback within a new upward trend. Price to find support probably quite strong at 1800. The volume profile for the short term for Ethereum also bullish. This upward candlestick that broke above the channel had pushed from volume. Over the last 3 days, as price is declining, it comes with declining volume. ADX tells us there's no clear trend, so I revert to the model of stochastics with support and resistance. Stochastics was oversold, nearly touched oversold here, moving through neutral. I'll expect stochastics to move higher to overbought, and price to swing from support to resistance using that model. So overall, an upward swing would be expected to about 2020 for Ethereum using that model. Do not expect price to move in a straight line. There will be consolidations and pullbacks along the way. The same picture essentially for XRP. XRP, cycle 1, cycle 2, primary 1, primary 2, primary 3 within cycle 3 is expected to be in its very early stages. Primary 2 may not move beyond the start of 1 below 0.1138. Primary 3 begins down here, which is here on the weekly chart with minor 1, minor 2, minute 1, minute 2. For XRP, I have a big question mark over whether or not minute wave 2 is over here, because minute wave 1 is a leading expanding diagonal. Following a leading expanding diagonal in a first wave position, the second wave correction is usually very deep, and this is not deep. If it does continue lower, I'll expect pretty strong support at the lower edge of this channel. If price does continue lower, then the logarithmic function of the 0.618 ratio is also an area for reasonable support expectations, 0.4736. Minute 2 does subdivide nicely as a zigzag, A, B, C, and C is a good looking 5-wave impulse. It fits really well in this channel, which I've adjusted after yesterday. But it certainly could continue lower as a double zigzag. If we just move the degree of labelling and the single zigzag down 1 degree, I'll show you what I mean by that. And then we relabel it a double zigzag. This could just be wave W. X may or may not be complete. We'll see another zigzag moving lower, possibly down to this target zone here. So for XRP, we do not have a channel breach. That's one reason why I have a strong question mark over whether or not there's a low down here. We do have a morning doji star, and this is a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern, but it did not have push from volume, although the following session did. It had really reduced range, ending as a doji. So the volume profile for XRP is marginally bullish, not as clear as the other two. ADX is declining, so we use the model of stochastics with support and resistance. Stochastics is returning from oversold, it's in neutral. I'd expect overall stochastics to continue higher, and using that model, overall price to continue higher to find resistance about 82, and we'll see what ADX says if price can breach the channel and get up to 82. Again, within a swing from support to resistance and back again, using identified resistance and support with stochastics as your guide as to when one swing may end and the next begins. Do not expect price to move in a straight line. It will be choppy and overlapping. There will be pullbacks and consolidations along the way. That's it from me with your free update today. I hope this helps everybody. Let me know how you're using this analysis. Let me know if you would like me to add anything different into how I'm doing this, any other particular approaches you want me to have a look at, and especially questions about my Elliott wave counts for Ethereum and XRP. I can go into a lot of detail on that one if you have any questions there. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support.